It's big. It's bad. It's Talladega, a speedway like no other, built to be bigger, badder, and faster than Daytona, and that's exactly where we take the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs to tonight. Dead smack in the middle of the playoff schedule, and we have 110 laps to settle it. All of the high-speed, close-quartered racing action is coming up next on Pit Stop TV. Good evening all, and welcome to the virtual Talladega, Alabama. Ed Scher will be alongside for the call this evening, and while this track doesn't seem all that hard on paper, it is very difficult to survive one of these races. And all the while, we have to monitor your playoff seeding. It is going to be quite the task for these drivers this evening. And now, a live look into the Talladega Super Speedway. We're here, big, bad, fast, beautiful speedway here in Alabama. Again, this track is what was a former military base, and it's you can bring some wild times around here as well. There's always those rumors that it's built on ancient burial grounds and all that stuff, and that's why this track is dangerous and all. But all of that, we're here in the sim, the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform, for some Outlaws Sim Series playoff racing action. And let's set the scene with the track this evening. You can see big, beautiful track. Of course, the typical four-cornered tri-oval D-shaped layout, whatever you would like to call it. 33 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4 is pretty high bank, but is lower than turns 1 and 2. Many people won't know it. It's about 32.5 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4. Pit lane is going to be a topic of conversation this evening, especially with the current run the Outlaw Sim Series is on. More on that later. But pit lane will be very treacherous this evening, trying to get into pit lane under green flag conditions. It's 110 laps this evening, and we have a field size looking at the moment 23, 24 cars. So we definitely could anticipate some green flag pit stops. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but to do that here is quite the challenge. First of all, you want to be pitting with a group. If you find yourself on pit lane by yourself, you are in trouble. But when you pit here at Talladega Super Speedway, you come off of turn number 4, and ideally you'd be working your way off the racing surface before you start slowing down, applying the brake pedal that you don't touch pretty much the entire rest of the race, only on pit entry. Apply that brake pedal, slow it down from speeds of 185, 190 miles an hour down to 55 miles an hour. Very difficult to do in a high pressure, high intensity situation. All the while there's cars doing the exact same thing around you. It is quite the challenge. Then you have to weave your way through the field of cars, if you didn't coordinate it properly, down the pit lane, find your pit stall that's going to be somewhere in the melee of vehicles, stop on the sign, don't slide through it, and then wait for your service to be done, apply the throttle on the pit exit, and then work your way through the melee. Try to get lined up through turns 1 and 2, because there's a very treacherous access lane there on the inside. And you come off of turn 2 there, and that is the entire pit cycle. That is going to be one of the more dangerous moments on in this race this evening, is the pit stops, the green flag pit stops, albeit and then of course this track, big, wide, fast. There's 3-4 lanes worth of dash lines all the way around, but I've seen in practice you can put 2 cars in one of those lanes, so there's plenty of space to race. You can see all the lap times there on the left hand side of your screen. Of course, you can see the fastest iRacing qualifying lap times. In this evening specifically, we are looking at some of the iRacing Cup NASCAR Cup Series NextGen times. And it's a little bit skewed when you look at these, because these are qualifying times, which are single car runs. So we'll get to the practice charts, and we'll be blowing those times out of the water, but it's because those are going to be with draft. So a fast time by yourself is at 50.188 there by Mitchell Wilkes there in the NASCAR NextGen Chevrolet Camaro. And I can recall, I think with open sets, most of the group of guys that I raced with, we were hitting around those 50.3. So it is difficult. You really need to bring, this is really all about bringing a nice hot rod here, keeping a steady wheel in that qualifying run there to hit one of those 50.1. I wouldn't put it past these Outlaws Sim Series drivers to be the ones to figure out how to do it, but that's going to be a tough mark to hit. You can see some of the other times around the iRacing world there with the different vehicles on iRacing. You have the IndyCar, the Dallara IR18 at 39.466. That's a drastic difference in lap time. The Gen 5 KR, which is this is a 2012 Chevrolet Impala, which is unrestricted here on the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platforms. You can run that beast wide open, all 850, 900 horsepower it can have under that hood, and you are looking at somewhere in the range of 41 seconds. The 87 cars are also unrestricted, but they are much harder to get a handle on, so you'll see that sign just under 45 seconds. And then some vehicles that have some slower qualifying laps, the Arca Menards Series vehicle, Brad Davies at that fastest lap, 51.1. That is a 2009 Chevrolet Impala, but it used to be the Nationwide Series vehicle, the Arca Machine. Xfinity Series vehicle around here can hit a 51.2. That's set by Jackson Bell, and the truck, slowest vehicle around here that typically uses the Speedway, a 54.2 there, James Brown in the Chevrolet Silverado. But that's enough of setting the scene this evening. Let's talk about the characters, a part of the story. And we come into this evening with one driver, one spot in that round of 8 already decided, with Seth Fitzpatrick. With his win last week, very dominant win, led all but the laps during pit cycle there at the USA International. Was the dominant car. We were expecting it to be Jonathan Jennings, but Seth Fitzpatrick was just had the upper hand all throughout the night. Led upwards of 200 laps in the 225 lap main event, and secured his spot into the next round of the playoffs. And all that being said, that means we still have yet to see a different driver win in the playoffs. It's only been Adrian Schumacher and Seth Fitzpatrick to win in the playoffs so far this playoff run. And you can see even in the Outlaws Sim Series itself, the wins have been very top heavy, with the exception of part-timers coming in like Zoltan, Hurt, Zegri, Schaefer, Shelton, Lingerfeld, Fox, all that good stuff. But of the regular drivers, the main full-time drivers, only the top 6 in points have regularly got wins. And now we can think back to, previous plate races this season. Adam Gardner was just a few feet away from winning at Daytona. Jacob Reeves carries himself a lot of confidence. Andrew St. Cour is always bringing a hot rod to these tracks. Devin Smith is always up in the mix. Scott Bailey and Matt Rogers have been up in the mix this season. We can definitely see, and we may just see it for the first time this season, somebody outside of those top 6 drivers, when it comes to the full-time drivers, win this race this evening. It just might happen. You don't know. They also have just as much of a likelihood to win this race as the others, but I would not put it past tonight being the night that we finally have somebody outside of that top 6 kind of hierarchy at the top of the Outlaws playoff standings break through and win this evening. We can look at it. Seth Fitzpatrick is in. You can look at the drivers that are probably going to lock in tonight on points, even if they don't win, as long as they have a decent race this evening. You look at maybe like a Jennings, a Berger, and a Schumacher. If they just finish in a relatively decent position, they could lock themselves in on points tonight. Also, a couple of a bit of stage points, but if they run into some trouble, they are not safe. They're not locked in. They're currently safe, but they're not locked in. That is something to keep an eye on, because this track, more than anything, is going to be the track that could turn these standings upside down. And you look at drivers like Max Service, who came into the kind of the season with the he won the regular season championship, and was starting to become one of the favorites to win the title this season. He has started to kind of fall off here in the playoff run. Is this the race that could be used as the bounce back race? Jeremiah Stutzman won at the iRacing Super Speedway earlier this season. I wouldn't count him out either. And then, of course, we already talked about the drivers who haven't won this season that are still currently in the playoffs. Scott Bailey, he's 23 points above the cut line on that bubble. He is safe for now, but say somebody outside that cut line wins, That moves the cut line up and puts them a little closer. You have to keep your eye on how you run tonight if you're somebody like a Scott Bailey, and especially if you're a Jacob Reeves, because you're only 6 points above the cut line. But if somebody below that cut line wins tonight, then, well, that marks you out. So you're going to have to be absolutely on it if you're below that cut line. It's not impossible to gain those points this evening, especially with a little bit of luck on your side. Devin Smith, Adrian Schumacher, Adam Gardner, Matt Rogers, they are all 6, 8, and 9 points back of that cut line. So I would be looking for all these drivers to be very aggressive for stage points, which could in turn cause some havoc. So those are the kind of players we're looking at tonight. And of course, the stages for this evening, where the top 10 will be awarded stage points at the completion of the stages, and there will be no change in session state, and the top 10 will be awarded points regardless of session state at the completion of lap 22 and 50 this evening, because tonight's race is 110 laps. And now it's time, let's get down to the practice charts this evening. You can see it is the Swift Racing boys and Max Service and Seth Berger top of the chart. Andrew St. Core, one of the drivers outside the cut line this evening. He is sat there in third. Eric Peck fourth. Jason Miz fifth. A couple of returners to the series. Vincent Cortez, one of the part-timers there in sixth. Randall Barnett coming back for another run here in seventh. Jacob Reeves, Jonathan Jennings, Jeremiah Stutzman, the top 10. And now I'm gonna take a look around here, see if there's anybody who would like to grab a word with. I think this driver would be intriguing to get a word with, especially this is somebody I think that can have a lot of confidence in most of these Outlaws Sim Series events, and a race like this could also bring a lot of confidence to somebody like the 12 of Andrew St. Core. Andrew, are you there? Andrew may have stepped away for a moment, so we're going to go ahead and leave him back to. We'll try again in a moment, maybe with Andrew St. Core, but then we'll shift our attention to maybe somebody else on the outside looking in this evening. And I want to talk to maybe this driver then, the driver of the number 95, Devin Smith. And Devin, this is a race that could, flip the entire playoff standings around. I know right now you are currently outside the cut line, but this is Talladega and anything can and almost anything will happen. How are you feeling, and what's your game plan coming into tonight's race?
Feeling decent. I mean, it's Talladega, like you said, anything can and definitely will happen. It's hard to tell. The goal is to try and stay up front, get as many stage points as can, stay out of incidents. Now, whether or not staying up front is going to keep me out of the incidents, I don't know. But that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try and stay up front. There's always multiple plans at restrictor plate racing. So we'll see what happens, I'm sure all 110 laps will definitely be exciting. Well, maybe. It depends. If we crash a lot of people out early, we might just ride around for the rest of it. But yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. We'll do it. But only being 6 back after last week was pretty good. It was a good day. I know it wasn't a good stage point day, if I even got any. But it was a solid finish, which I'm happy about. And I hope I get a solid finish tonight and next week, and maybe manage to squeak into the round of 8.
There you go. And so we look at tonight, Talladega, of course, being one of the ultimate teamwork tracks. You look at a team like Last Chance Racing, they have a very large group of drivers. I'd imagine maybe there's some deals in place between Dark Horse and Swift to try to maybe link up here. But all in all, what is the team aspect, if you can maybe peel back that curtain a little bit, what's the team aspect going to be like tonight?
Well, we definitely didn't talk about any alliances. So, I mean, they got 4, maybe 5, 6, depending on who all shows up for them. We got 4 tonight. I I don't know. It should be an interesting race throughout. I know in the spring when we ran here last, most of Dark Horse wasn't here, so I was kind of teamed with Swift, and we managed, I think, a P2 off of it, which is definitely, by a long shot, my best league restrictor plate finish, at least on iRacing anyways. Most of them I get caught up in some crap on the last lap, so goal is to miss it. Goal right now is try and run up front, stay up front with the team. I guess it all depends on where we place on speed and qualifying to see how that changes. But it's going to be a long race. Long race. So I don't expect anything to be set in stone at the moment.
All right, well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens at the end of qualifying and throughout the 110 lap affair. Thank you for the time here in practice this evening, Devin. Best luck to you in tonight's race. Hopefully, we're talking to you a little later on.
Hope so too, but I do not have the best track record with interviews, so we'll see how it goes.
We shall see. Best luck to you, Devin.
Thank you.
Driver of the number 95 this evening. And now I know we talked to this driver a lot, and maybe it's not even that bad of a thing because this driver garnishes a lot of fan support out there. I know Burger Nation is watching very intently this evening, but a driver I want to bring into this into the booth this evening. I know they're above the cut line, but there is, I think, a lot going on here for Seth. This is a race that he won before. This race specifically, Talladega, the playoffs, brings a lot of momentum for this 77 camp. And then Seth, you also have a little bit of a giveaway going on at Berg Arts, so why don't you go ahead and talk about all of that?
Yeah, so if you look at the name rail, if you can read it, private message me what it says. You get a free entry into the giveaway. If you leave a comment as well during the live stream, you'll also get an extra entry into the jean jacket that I'm giving away right now. And the deadline is midnight tomorrow, so no time to waste.
There you go. You can see it there on the name rail a little bit better with the shadow over it there. But if you also can't see the name rail when the camera pans around, you see the back bumper. It's also the same code there on the rear end of the 77 machine. And now, Seth, I know you've had some great luck here at Talladega as of recently. You're kind of garnishing that Dale Jr. status when it comes to Talladega. What is your game plan tonight to try to maintain that? I'd imagine maybe it's more of a points night, but I know a win is still on the cards for you.
Just be in the lead pack when the white flag drops, honestly. Anything can happen at that point, and that's what I've done the last two races. I've been in the lead pack at the end, and I was able to make the last move to win it at the finish line.
There you go. It does seem like, this race, of course, with its nature of being a high-speed track, everybody running in a pack, it does take a little bit of luck, but you could try to aid that a little bit as well with some team alliances. What's kind of the buzz been like at Swift Racing? Is there any other external alliances going on to try to maybe meet the mass number that like Last Chance Racing has, or what's the conversation been like?
It's not looking like we're gonna be at the same mass numbers as Last Chance, but quality over quantity, I think, is very important. Not saying that they're not good, but I'll take Swift Racing up against anyone any day. So hopefully we could get lined up pretty quickly and just keep each other safe and not wreck out too early.
There you go, Seth. And now into the waning moments practice here. Won't keep you much longer, but you are looking pretty stout through the first four races of the playoffs. I know there's a lot more to go, but how are you feeling right now before Talladega?
Feeling pretty good. If we could just keep these solid finishes, it doesn't have to be anything super pretty. I think we have a pretty easy way into the next round.
There you go. There's driver of the number 77. You can clearly see the name rail and the rear end there. Make sure you comment that code and PM that code to Seth himself. This giveaway ends tomorrow night. So Seth Berger, Best luck to you this evening. Hopefully, we'll talk to you a little later on.
All right, thank you.
And there is, again, I'd say probably the most popular driver in the Outlaws Sim Series, and Kevin Powell would be rivaling that because he garnished a lot of votes in the fan vote. Seth Berger, well, we can't, I guess we didn't get a number there because he wasn't eligible for the fan vote, but that'll be intriguing to see if you know what kind of support numbers there are like. By the way, if you are here in the stream, in the broadcast, go and drop a comment down below, and then in the chat, and show who you are supporting this evening in tonight's playoff race from Talladega. It should be a good one. And as practice ticks over, we are now heading our way into qualifying. And yep, the timer has ticked over, so we are waiting now for cars to head to the track and begin their qualifying attempts. And we do have one car taken to the track. We'll take it. Driver of the number 94, Matthew Byers, is out there. And let's see the lap that Byers puts together. Also, different strategies can go along when you look at a race like Talladega and qualifying at Talladega, because it's all about straight line speed, having the highest speed. I know that, you know, that seems a little redundant, but this track, more than anything, the way you build up your speed, how quickly you build up speed, can mean a lot. Matthew Byers in a 94 machine, he'll take to the high side on the warm-up lap, and now question will become, does he stay up there for his first timed lap, or well, right there you heard him shift. Looks like he will stay up here. Will he drop down into turn one, or will he just set himself up? Because they have 3 timed laps here in the Outlaws Sim Series, which is a huge help. And Byers does elect to take lap number 1 as a full out timed lap. So we'll watch the man work. Very difficult to hold that smooth line. It seems like it would be super easy, but to hold it perfectly, not scrub off any speed, and he's going straight to the high side, so maybe he really didn't like that. So we'll catch back up with the 94 Matthew Byers a little later on. How about the 12 of Andrew St. Coeur? Got a pole at Daytona here in his Outlaws Sim Series career. Looking to see if he can bring that kind of speed to light again this evening. One of the drivers outside the cut line this evening could use a little bit of help, and pole would probably put this driver at ease, a little bit better mood coming into tonight's race. Seth Fitzpatrick puts the fastest time on the board. Matthew Byers has also put a time up there. We're watching Andrew St. Coeur. Putting those left sides on the yellow line, to the line for the number 12 machine. It'll be second quickest, and these margins are very, very close. I know there's a fast hot rod here in this 24 machine. I know he's not a playoff driver, but this is a driver I am looking for in the pole position battle. Let's watch Jason Miz. And there it is, Jason Miz, top of the charts by a mile. Max Service closes up the gap, but it is not pull for the 81 machine. I'm sure Max will give her another go, but what a job there from the 24 of Jason Miz. On board with the 81 machine, you can see Max struggles a little bit more to stabilize that car on entry. And Max is going to elect for the cut here in the trial. Line that time does not improve for the 24 machine. Here we have the 77 of Seth Berger taking on his qualifying run. Jacob Reeves is giving her another go. Dan Borton coming through the trial. Check out Jeremiah Stutzman. He's not started his lap, so he's getting up to speed here. Seth Berger improves up to third. Kyle Lingerfeld in the Raging Cajun number 65 Toyota Camry. He's going to go multiple timed laps up on that outside lane. Brad Bothwell, a driver we saw get many poles last season. He's kind of taking a little bit more of a... he made the playoffs this season, but fortunately work came up. He was not able to compete in the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs this season, although being one of those playoff drivers. But this is a driver we have expected to kind of follow up last season's running with many poles. And I believe he did get one, but it has not been the same season for Bothwell. He goes 17th quickest and is giving her another go here on the next lap. Jonathan Jennings' machine here in the number 91 Popeyes Chevrolet Camaro. Stutzman has gone to 6th. I don't know if there's going to be many people who are going to be topping the time that Jason Miz has set. Top the charts. Matthew Setzer in his number 5 machine. Swerving a little bit there out of turn 4. That's going to scrub some speed off. Setzer not doing the best. Qualifying round 53.7 for Matthew Setzer, the 22nd best time, and also another name in this field we expect to be quick week in and week out. This number 54 machine, Landon Lacy. That's the 52. This man has got to pick a number. Landon Lacy remaining on that high side here with a minute 20 left. Gonna all come down to this last timed lap for Landon Lacy. Lacy down to the bottom side for his final timed lap, and I believe he's going to be the last time out there. So we'll watch Landon Lacy do work Fifth gear for this number 54 machine. Through the trial 4 of a 54. Cross the stripe. Landon Lacy set a 53.5. And he'll go 18th quickest. And that looks like that'll do for this evening's qualifying session. Should mean that the driver of the number 24, Jason Miz, is on the pole position for this evening's race. And Jason Miz is our Pratt Tile and Stone Pole Award winner. Pratt Tile and Stone serving Central Vermont since 2005. And now the field is down on the grid, getting ready to do battle this evening. Jason Miz on the front row. And we have our starting lineup. It'll be here, row number 1, it'll be Jason Miz in the 24, and the 81 Max Service will start in second. Row 2, it'll be the 77 of Seth Berger, the 23 of Vincent Cortez. Row number 3 will find the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick, the 91 of Jonathan Jennings. Row 4 will find the 12 of Andrew St. Coeur and the 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman. Row number 5 will find the 82 of Andrew St. Coeur. Of Adrian Schumacher in 9th. Jacob Reeves will start in 10th. Row 6 will find the 56 of Adam Gardner with the 96 of Matt Rogers starting 12th. 13th will find the 93 of Kevin Powell, the 97 of Kevin Borden. Sam Borden will start 14th. 15th will have the 11 of Scott Bailey. The 94 of Matthew Byers will start 16th. Row number 9 will find the 20 of Justin Mcmahon and the 54 of Landon Lacy. Row number 10 will be the 66 of Joshua Fox. The 95 of Devin Smith. 31 of Brad Bothwell will start 21st. 65 of Kyle Lingfeld will start 22nd. Row number 12 will find a 5 of Matthew Setzer in 23rd. 63 of Randall Barnett starts 24th. Row 13 will find a 16 of Eric Peck in 25th. The 67 of Doug Solms in 26th. So that is this evening's 26 car field. Getting ready to do battle on the high banks here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Happy to have had you all here tuning in and joining us for this evening's playoff racing action. Quick look at the weather before we get going this evening. Track temp 78 degrees and the air temp 68.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear skies, winds very light, 4 miles an hour out of the southeast here in Talladega, Alabama. The 13 rows of 26 cars working their way down the back straightaway and getting ready to get going here at Talladega. The 24 Jason Miz is non-playoff driver on the pole position. Stages this evening, again, at the completion of 22 and 50. The top 10 will be awarded stage points regardless of session state. So the field double wide and working their way through turns 3 and 4. We do have a bunch of Swift cars in the first 2 rows and followed by a lot of last chance cars in the next rows behind. So I'd look for some alliances to form very early this evening. Car down the apron, that is Brad Bothwell, but the field is approaching restart zone. And the field will be in the hands of the 24 Jason Miz. And they will await the cue from the starter, Barney the Flagman, all the way down on the other end of the tri-oval. Field of 26. Doubled up and coming around. And green flag is in the air. We are racing from Talladega. "110 laps of playoff racing action, one down, 109 to go." It is Seth Berger and Max Service out front of the field, and they're working that high line. They got Vincent Cortez there in third. On the inside, it's Jason Miz working with the two of Seth Fitzpatrick, and it's that middle line, outside lane middle line, that is currently the middle lane outside line. There you go. That's currently working the speed up and down. And you see the 91 of Jonathan Jennings dropping down in front of the 24 of Jason Miz. The top three drop down as well, bringing Andrew St. Cour. Top four are all lined up, and Jennings is not content to ride. He's looking for a way out as well. There's the field, everybody lined up, giving plenty of space. Jennings trying to find his crew there in the 22. They got Jason Miz jumping out in front. Miz, again, a non-playoff driver, and none of his teammates in the field this evening. Devin Smith with the fastest lap of tonight's race. The whole field still working their way double wide. And now the outside line has started to get really lined up here. You're going to see a little bit more movement from that outside lane. Right on board, the 77 of Seth Berger. Seth Fitzpatrick with the fastest lap and run down there in fifth. Now Doug Solms turns the fastest lap. He's a little bit, he found his ways a little bit down to running order. So the top five or so have kind of worked their way out. It's double wide behind them, and now Seth Fitzpatrick jumps out of line. He'll try to find his teammates there on that high side. Right on board with Jonathan Jennings. Jennings now, a little off center on that push. That could have been dangerous. And they're trying to get some air to the nose of that machine, but you can't push right there where there's a change, a transition in the banking, and be off-centered. So here we go now down the back straightaway. Now he'll hit a little bit more square, and the speed rises here. You're gonna see that speed kick up here. Okay, we're not going 209. I think that was a little bit of a glitch, but they did go a little bit faster. But it is going to be hard to kind of break up these 3 or 4, well, 3 Swift Racing cars and Andrew St. Cour, which is Max Service's stepdad. I'm sure he is either being clued in with the plan, or he just understands he doesn't want to leave these guys. And now the run to the 2 of Fitzpatrick and the 91 of Jonathan Jennings. Here they come. Joshua Lane Fox with the fastest lap, and the run on the outside lane is heating up. And now the Last Chance Racing cars on the outside, they have drawn even. They are pulling now to the front of the field. It is Seth Fitzpatrick, the driver who has locked himself into the next round of playoffs already. He now leads here at Talladega. The top 3 Last Chance cars are clear. They're trying to pull Matt Rogers clear. Now Max Service is in a little bit of panic mode. He's going to try to push and shove, but 77 forward. But to no avail, they don't have the numbers that Last Chance Racing does. More and more cars continue to work by these Swift Racing cars. And the top 4 Swift Racing cars there, Last Chance Racing cars on the outside line, clear down in front of the Swift Racing cars. And it's now Seth Fitzpatrick leading this thing. He's got teammates of Jonathan Jennings, Jacob Reeves, and Matt Rogers behind. A couple of them left on the high side. Whoa, one car in trouble, the 97 of Sam Borden. Nearly in the wall. Looked like he lost a little bit of the rear end there coming off the corner, and he's dropping back. Meanwhile, most of this pack is getting single filed out, and they're dropping down to that bottom lane. Another car struggling for some handling up there is that yellow and black machine. I don't think that is Jeremiah Stutzman. I was going to say, I don't think that's Jeremiah Stutzman, but it is. Landon Lacy does not want to sit in line. He wants to get going, and he's pulling the 82 of Adrian Schumacher with. Also with the 95, Devin Smith jumps up and tries to join this group. The 11 is Scott Bailey, by the way, sets the fastest lap. And he is now what would be, I believe, in that second pack of cars. No, he's in this first pack. But look at this run up the field. Schumacher and Lacy, they're trying to get up here. They made their way up to the Swift Racing bunch. There's some lines to see with Swift Racing. I wonder if they're going to jump out. Adrian Schumacher wants to go, and he's going to kind of get left. Try to latch on behind Schumacher, but it's now the Swift Racing bunch jumping up high. 6 cars on that outside lane. Service pushing Berger. They've got Cortez, Lacy, Schumacher, Miz, and St. Cour in tow now. So the Last Chance guys a little lacking there, similar to how they passed the Swift Racing bunch, and little bit of miscommunication trying to drop down. So the top 3 Swift Racing cars get down, but they leave Lacy, Schumacher up there, along with Miz and St. Cour. Adam Gardner with the fastest lap now in these 4. Checking up behind. A little bit of miscommunication there. 96 Matt Rogers nearly on the apron. Everybody scatters to avoid, but we stay green. And Landon Lacy is now going to the point. 3 wide in the heart of the pack. Lacy, a push from Schumacher, who blinks. Double wide out in front of this field is between Seth Berger and Landon Lacy, and Adrian Schumacher is blinking there. Let's see how long he's able to keep up. Here now, Jeremiah Stutzman with a little help behind, 1 car behind, jumping up to that 3rd lane. That's the 56 of Adam Gardner jumping up there, 3 abreast now as they battle for a second. Lacy out in front of the field is clear of all 3 lanes. Now Berger with the run up the inside, 3 wide here in the lead pack. Stutzman still trying to work up high to middle, losing momentum, even though there's 5, 6 cars lined up. Car in the wall up there. That's the 95 of Devin Smith. He drops back. The 3 wide continues, but it's the inside lane that prevails, and it is Seth Berger and company leading now the front of this train, and Fitzpatrick is jumping down the line. They're not content. We're going to see this all day between Last Chance and Swift Racing, and Last Chance roars to life on the outside lane. And there is a lot of energy in this pack. Andrew St. Court drops to the apron. Huge line, a huge run for the outside line. Jennings trying to push Fitzpatrick out in front, of Berger in service, never quitting down on the bottom. And Jennings, a huge push to Fitzpatrick into turn 1. Berger held the advantage for a while there. Fitzpatrick poked his nose out in front, trying to get something cooking on the inside. It's only now 3 cars lined up on the outside. And now Reeves jumps up, trying to get 4 cars, and Service drops down to the bottom. So Seth Fitzpatrick to the lead, and Service drops to the back of the lead pack. Berger loses his main drafting partner, now in the hands of Vincent Cortez. Third place, Scott Bailey now trying to figure out where he wants to go. Either down to the bottom or stay in the middle. Teammate Jacob Reeves drops down. His 2 teammates ahead stay in the middle. Lacy will run on the outside. He's got Stutzman and Gardner in tow. Jason Miz as well. And Matt Rogers wants to join. Schumacher drops down on the bottom. And there's a lot of confusion behind the top 3. Everybody trying to work with their respective factions, but they are only just kind of confusing each other, kind of slowing down the entire pack. And now everybody's kind of drafting back up to the leaders. On board Scott Bailey, and now Landon Lacy, a huge run. A huge run and a huge push from Adrian Schumacher. Looking to see maybe if these Last Chance guys cover it up. Cortez jumps from the bottom lane up high, leaving teammate Seth Berger. Working lap 16 of 110. It's... Oh, we got a car going around and into the middle of the field. Cars scattering. Max Service is going around. I believe that was Adam Gardner and Jeremiah Stutzman, Brad Bothwell, and that is our first caution in the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs. Before this caution, the series went 735 consecutive laps green. 5 consecutive points paying races green flag. And this is the first caution of the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs. I figured it was going to happen this evening at Talladega of all tracks, and my goodness. But even then, we were getting amazing racing before this caution, and it's just wild. It's just the nature of the beast. So let's go ahead, and we're going to grab a replay, and let's see what happened. And yeah, the 56 of Adam Gardner up high. He's got Jason Miz in tow behind. Kind of want to slow this down as well. So they're having a little trouble pushing, a little bit of a moment there. Miz kind of upsets the rear end of the 56. Gets loose, comes down, clips the 71. Bothwell gets clipped, and Setzer has nowhere to go but clipped the 56. What a move for Matt Rogers. Service is trying to miss the wreck, and he spins out, and I think it's only going to be about these 4, 5, 6 cars involved in this incident. Service gets a little bit of damage there, and this is not going to be an angle that dictates, or that does a lot of the investigative work. We saw the, of course, we saw the start of the incident. Let's see here. Corner, yep. Be a big hit for Gardner. I think everybody else kind of got away with pretty minimal damage. want to see this move that Matt Rogers pulled. This was, well, he didn't really pull a move. It just kind of happened around him. We're gonna ride on board with Matt Rogers, and look at this. The wreck just happens around him. Oh my goodness. I mean, it does not get much better than that. What an intentional avoiding move there from Matt Rogers. We got one more look at this incident. We're up above the back straightaway grandstands. They're no longer here in real life. Service tried to avoid the incident, spun himself out. Oh, actually, that's going to be big rear end damage to the 81. I think everybody else just kind of spun. I don't think this is going to make anybody... this is not going to eliminate anybody from the race, I don't believe. A lot of damage repair going on with the 56 machine. Working caution here, and by the way, we're going to go green right before this first stage concludes. And for the first time, all playoffs, we're going to take a side-by-side here during a caution. First time we've gotten a caution in the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs. So we're going to step aside. We'll be right back. We're actually not going to go anywhere, but we'll be right back with coverage here of Outlaws Sim Series action from Talladega.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway here in Talladega, Alabama. Emerson Arden here on Vacal for this evening's race. We had our first caution since lap 215 at Bristol, 6 points races ago. Outlaws Sim Series Field has not had a caution since the race before the playoffs started at Nashville. There was no caution there as well. The 2 races before the playoffs started was the last caution the Outlaws Sim Series had before this one. So the first restart of the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs is green. So the field works their way double wide through the tri-oval. 2 laps to go in stage number 1, and it's Jacob Reeves out in front of the field. A big push from Jonathan Jennings, Seth Berger there in 3rd, and Seth Fitzpatrick in 4th. Matt Byers there in 4th. Fitzpatrick the 4th car on the outside line. Again, the top 10 completion of lap 22 will be awarded stage points. It's going to be hard to tell you exactly who was where. I'll try to at least get you who is the stage winner, because we should be able to at least confirm that one and whatever we can confirm. And a huge run for Cortez. He drops down to the inside lane, trying to get a push from Seth Berger after leaving him earlier. Jacob Reeves still leads here, halfway down the back straightaway. Half a lap to settle it here in stage number 1. And Jennings trying to stay committed to his teammate. Oh, we got a wreck in the back. Accident in the back, and that's going to take out some drivers. And waiting for the caution. The caution's going to come out. The car is going to hit hard into the inside walls. The 96 of Matt Rogers. Big impact. And the caution freezes the field, which means Jacob Reeves is going to win stage number 1. And we have a massive accident to sort out back here. Matt Rogers took a hellacious hit to the inside wall there off of turn number 4. Try to go back and figure out what happened here. Oh, and looks like the 56 of Adam Gardner in trouble. Sam Borden and Jeremiah Stutzman, Jason Miz. Car's just trying to stop to avoid it. Again, another incident I don't think anyone's going to be eliminated from this race from except Matt Rogers. His day might be done. I'm going to ride on board here with Adam Gardner and try to see if we can figure out what happened. He's having a moment here. We'll have to go back a little bit more. And he just gets kind of ran over from behind, clipped into left rear. Borden hits him. But doesn't tell the whole story. We're going to try to go back and figure out what happened. Oh, he was getting lapped. Okay. So it brings a little bit more light to the situation. Gardner was getting lapped. He's trying to stay up high. He did the right thing. And Borden kind of stuck up high as well. He's trying to get down. Couldn't get down. Rises into left rear to 56. Clips to 71. Smith gets some damage there. Third behind looks like they're going to be fine. And then we have to ride on board with whatever happened to Matt Rogers. My goodness. We're going to get to the 96 here. Just gets loose off the corner and watch out for... Man! And that is day done. That is engine out of the car. That is 37 minutes of required. That, I mean, as if the hit wasn't big enough to tell. Does he get hit here? He gets contacted in the rear by Vincent Cortez, and then the second push from behind. Oh, this hit down too. Man. That is a lot of air. Corvette 96. My goodness. So, try to catch up here with driver of the number 22. I'm sure is gonna be absolutely ecstatic. Driver of the number 22, Jacob Reeves, winning stage number 1 there, Jacob Reeves, and I'm sure that is gonna help the mood out a little bit. To start off tonight's race, how you feeling?
A little bit calmer now. I got me 10 stage points. That's gonna help me out a little bit. Got 2 good teammates behind me, Jonathan and Seth. We found something in practice, and so far it's looking pretty good. We had a good practice session last night with the team, and I'm hopefully I can keep it up here. At least that's the game plan.
Certainly. Will you be, now that you got 1 stage win, will you be as aggressive at the lap 50 mark for stage 2, knowing the stage points mean everything, or because you have the stage where you're just going to try to survive, and maybe if they're getting a little too crazy for the stage victory, you're going to back out?
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I got 2 good teammates right here. Been working good with them the whole race. I mean, it's only been 25 laps, but I've been working good with them. I don't even know how many got took out in those 2 wrecks, but less cars we got to deal with, the better off we're going to be. So,
I think
just
only 1 or 2 were completely eliminated. Okay, look at like 4 or 5.
Hey, less cars we got to deal with. That's the way I look at it. So, but just want to thank the team. We had a good practice last night. Helped me out with some stuff. Thanks to the Elite Performance Industries on the car. Everybody watching at home, like I'm checking out, says sit back and watch the race or enjoy the race.
There you go, Jacob. Well, we'll be watching, of course. You sit back and enjoy the race as well from the driver's seat. Hopefully, we're talking to you a little later on.
That's the plan. I can't guarantee it, but that's the plan.
Yes, sir. Driver of the number 22, Jacob Reeves, stage 1 winner. He is doubled up and getting ready to go. And let's go ahead and work through the drivers that are currently out of this race who are multiple laps down. 26th is Scott Bailey in the 11 machine. I don't actually recall where he got his damage, but he's 7 laps down. Lingerfelt dropped down off the racing surface on the first green flag lap following the first restart. He is out 5 laps down. Sam Borden is out 3 laps down. Matt Rogers is sitting in the pit lane getting massive repairs 3 laps down. Adam Gardner is in the pits as well, 3 laps down getting repairs. Jeremiah Stutzman is the 1 car in the lead lap that is not in this current frame, that he is still catching up to the pacing vehicle, the pacing field here. But everybody else, we have still 20 healthy cars, the 21st catching, and more in the pits that are playoff drivers that are going to definitely want to get out here and get whatever scraps they can. And so, VIRacing.com safety vehicle heads into the safety of pit lane. And you know what? I haven't even said that for a restart in so long. I forgot to say it last time. But here we go. The field in the hands of the 22 of Jacob Reeves. And we are green once again from Talladega. As imagined, the restart following the stage 1 yellow there that just happened incidentally was going to be a little calmer. What did happen though, as a result, is Max Service jumps out to the race lead on the inside lane. It's Landon Lacy following suit on the inside. Seth Berger and Andrew St. Cour and Vincent Cortez now rocking the inside. 5 cars lined up, and they're getting lined up very quickly here. Last Chance bunching in that middle lane outside line, and now they're a little confused. They're going 3 wide with each other. Something amiss. Maybe something wrong with Jacob Reeves' machine, or I don't know what's going on with the 22, but he is losing pace and the field is splitting up. Something amiss for our stage winner. Jacob Reeves is in trouble. And the caution's out on the speedway. Bunch of rear end damage on the 31 of Brad Bothwell. I don't know if it's his fault the caution is out, but let's see. Actually, so I think the caution happened. That's why Jacob Reeves is slowing down. So my apology. I did not see the yellow. For whatever reason. Maybe the yellows was called out in sim a little sooner, but whoa, contact there. Oh my goodness, this happened at the back of the pack. Stutzman gets involved in this one. Randall Barnett and Brad Bothwell, Eric Peck, all these guys off the lead pack, and all of them non-playoff drivers with the exception of Stutzman, who got in that last incident. Don't really know what they're fighting this hard for. That they came together like this. This was maybe a push gone wrong from Peck. Here we go. Better of a view. Eric Peck just full throttle into the back of the 63, and let's be real, Randall, those reflexes may not have been exactly up to par. A little bit one of the older guys in the field just probably was not expecting it, could not hold on to the car. Like the 31 and the 71, and fortunately also provide some heavy damage to his own car. Right on board of Eric Peck. And now, for my curiosity, I want to go back and maybe right on board with the 22 and see when the caution came out. I was not paying attention. I thought Jacob Reeves had an issue. Maybe he did. We'll see here, riding on board. The 3-1, the green lights are still on. Green lights are still on, so no, he did have an issue. Green lights still on, and now, no, still on, the green lights are. And now the caution comes out. But something did happen there. There was some miscommunication or something, or maybe there's something wrong with the equipment, but Jacob Reeves did have an issue there. Or something went wrong. I don't anticipate Jacob Reeves was just going to slow down in the middle of the field like that. Working our third caution of the day here at Talladega. Max Service is your race leader. Go ahead and step aside, take a quick side-by-side here from Talladega. Don't you go anywhere. We're not going anywhere either, but we'll be right back with coverage from Talladega.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence. After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back, race fans, to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway. We're here well into this race, the second race of the second round of the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs. Race dead smack in the middle of the playoffs. And these drivers are getting ready to get back to action here. The field in the hands of Max Service as he approaches the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We're racing once again from Talladega. First lap from the restart complete, the field in the hand of Max Service, and there is something amiss. There is a huge drop there for the Last Chance Racing cars, and either that or these guys up front have figured it out. There's the wrong car there, and yeah, these front runners, they have pulled away from the second pack, and they are starting to panic in the second pack. They have lost the lead draft, so this second pack, this is an actual second pack. At the hands now, Matthew Setzer, Matt Byers, Jonathan Jennings. This lead pack consists of Max Service leading a huge push, and I'm imagining Landon Lacy, who was really the engine of this entire front train. Seth Berger, third. Vincent Cortez, fourth. Jason Miz, fifth. Andrew St. Cour, sixth. And Justin Mcmahon in there in seventh. So Jennings and Fitzpatrick trying to make something happen now, but they are a couple seconds back, and they're gonna have to get on their high horse. They're gonna have to giddy up here and get moving. And they're going to have to get everybody behind them to work with one another if they're going to find their way back to the front of this field. They're certainly going to put on an effort. They're going to try, but they need more than just two cars to make this work. I know Swift Racing, I've been there. I've worked with them, and the officials at plate races. And the boys know how to push. And they know how to organize themselves. And it's now time to prove that Last Chance Racing can do the same. They have caught now a 10th. Have linked up. They're trying to figure it out, and I wonder if the same aggression's still being held up there. Last Chance is closing the gap now, with Jennings leading the helm in or hold at the helm in the second pack. They're 1.3 seconds back from the lead pack now. Working lap 35 of 110. Max Service leads this race at the front of this field. So the field works their way past the lap car pair of Adam Gardner. And we race on. The gap is closing. Jonathan Jennings and crew, they have closed this gap. And a fantastic job at that to do so. And Mcmahon is now going to lead this charge on the outside. And the momentum dies off a little bit. There's only 3 cars as opposed to the 6 line up on the bottom now. And the energy in the pack has kind of gone all over the place. Now 5 cars linked up on the outside to the 6 on the bottom. Landon Lacy is not on the rear end of, I think, the way he'd want to be on the rear end of the 81 right now. I think when you see the aggression amp up, you're going to see Landon Lacy all over the rear end here. And here we go. Great push. Well, that right there, a huge gap that forms right after Lacy gets off the 81 is allowing the outside lane to make their move. And here they come. Mcmahon. The push from Jennings around the outside. And Justin Mcmahon to the point. And Lacy's now got to put in some work if he's going to rival this outside lane. Gonna need Seth Berger to keep him company, Cortez to keep Berger company, and so forth. The outside lane, they do have it figured out for the time being, for the most part. And now Service back to the point on the inside lane. This really is the race between Service, Lacy, and Berger. That trio versus McMahon, Jennings, and Fitzpatrick. Whichever trio can form up better, that is going to dictate who is leading this race at the moment with the double wide pack. 11 cars under a blanket. And McMahon getting a huge push down the back. Service's push from Lacy is just that much stronger. I mean, this is going to be a great angle to kind of dictate and show you the pushes and the, well, when we're not being blocked by grandstands. I think that would be a little bit better. McMahon, a huge shove and leads that lap. Jennings, now Fitzpatrick, they're almost clear now. The Swift Racing bunch. So McMahon to the point, and no rival there from Service and Lacy, and they're gonna let V's 5 pretty much get out there and clear. No, they're gonna fight back a little bit, but Cortez jumps out from the team line. And now gives the numbers advantage to the team his teammates are battling against. This is intriguing tactics from the Swift Racing driver in the 23. Yeah, and drops back down to the bottom. Maybe this to help St. Cour stay glued to the 24. So Service leads at the stripe, but Mcmahon gets the advantage into 1. And we race on. Quick checkup on the second pack, being led by Solms. He's got Peck in tow. The lap car of Adam Gardner. Back there also Joshua Land Fox, Matthew Setzer, and Adrian Schumacher. A huge run now for the last chance bunch. It's Mcmahon now. That group getting a huge run. They are now jumping way out in front now. Cortez and St. Cour have jumped up to this outside lane, and huge number advantage now went to the last chance group. And Matt Byers in trouble. Sideways and trying to rejoin the group, but he's going to be left out to dry, and he's got to hook onto the back of the Swift gang. Now the top 11 are all lined up. McMahon holds station out in front. An issue for Eric Peck. He's around on the back straightaway. Something amiss for the 16 machine. We'll get a look at it here. And well, Doug Solms gets into the back there of Eric Peck. Single car incident. We stay green. He hits the pit lane. And we race on out in front. So the next was to look at what was the second pack, but that second pack has become very spaced out. Now Joshua Land Fox and Matthew Setzer heading Solms and Schumacher. They are non the draft of Setzer. Devin Smith holds this group of Jeremiah Stutzman, Kevin Powell. Adam Gardner's trying to latch on with Schumacher and Solms. And so this is what we've got. And with 4 laps to go, stage 2, everybody's lined up. I'd imagine the moves are going to start a little closer to the end of the stage. So now we wait. And the runs it's been today, and Justin McMahon getting to this point, he kind of just found himself at the head of this Last Chance Racing train. Kind of last second, and the way the field was spreading apart. Jennings, of course, he's been kind of the start pusher today. Jennings, he's not locked in, but he's got a lot of points to his name, and he is not in any desperation rush, especially if he gets stage points to make moves. Fitzpatrick is locked in. Reeves, the one driver who could use some help, and maybe some maneuverability happens, maybe to get Reeves some points. You look behind them with the Swift Racing Group, and Vincent Cortez has been very on his own. The point would try to help out the group, and then would leave them and then help out the team that his group is trying to go against. Cortez is kind of the wild card in this bunch in that 23 machine, and for what it's worth, he's not in the playoffs, and he doesn't have any points to worry about. He is going for a win of this race. It's just wild that this is happening this early in the race. Andrew St. Cour, he really is. He's not a Swift Racing driver. He's actually in the Twisted Axle stable with Peck, Barnett, and Solms. But all of his teammates, they have caught some trouble today. And all of them are also no longer in the playoffs or not in the playoffs. And St. Cour is. He now has his stepson of Max Service behind him. They continue to do battle. They are, racing under the same roof. They're in the same house. Maybe some communication can be just done by shouting across the house at that. You then look behind them, Landon Lacy. And here comes the move from Service and St. Cour, and I'm guessing Swift Racing has no other choice but to oblige and go whip, but they were not really all lined up. So they make the move. McMahon's getting a huge push from Jennings, and Fitzpatrick struggling to keep with, and out of 5 in the bottom lane are getting linked up. Can St. Cour live up and shove Cortez to the front? We're in the last lap of stage number 2, and the numbers go down to the bottom lane. Fitzpatrick tries to block. Little bit of an indecisive move, and if you're going to make a block like that, you have to commit. And now Cortez is left to push Fitzpatrick. And the runs stall out behind. And there's a wreck behind. Cortez is going to go into the outside wall. And they're going to wreck across the line. Berger and St. Cour wreck. And Justin McMahon wins the stage. The caution's going to come out. In the field in trouble as they cross the line to end stage 2. And so inadvertently we have gotten now 2 stage cautions. Try to see what happened, and we're not going to get a great view of it here. We'll have to catch another replay. Thought that was going to be a great view, and for the angle it was going to be a great view, but here happens around Jacob Reeves and Max Service. This is not actually going to be the best view of it either. Service tries to go down to the inside. Reeves comes down a little late. So that, unfortunately, is going to be a late block. 22. Something happens to Seth Fitzpatrick. He just walls it. A little confused. I'll have to look more into it. Do more investigative work. I want to watch this, not from Max Service's onboard, but the car behind Max Service, which is Landon Lacy. To kind of see if, cars moving up and cars moving down here. This is Landon Lacy's on board. The car behind Max Service gets a run, and so Interior Service gets the run, drops down, and that was a reactionary move from Jacob Reeves. Let's take another look at it. That's my first thought of it. We'll look at it from Max Services on board. We can look at the lines on the racetrack, slow this down, and all that good stuff. So, the run. Service gets, and of course, they are coming to the stage. Let's not, put this past. The player drivers coming to the stage. So, both drivers have their right sides on the dashed white line. Service moves down first. Reeves starts coming down, and when you slow it down, there it is, clear as day. Unfortunately, that is Jacob Reeves coming down across the nose of the 81 machine. View of it, and no, we can't really get a view of it here. Just go by there. This is a really hard angle to get a view of. We have a view from the spotter stand here. Take a look at that. In this, we can also kind of see. So there, Max Service. There we go. That thing does that move. Or does the incident a little bit of justice there. Okay. Berger. I was thinking on board with Seth, because Seth had a big moment. Not really sure why. Cortez took a lot of front end damage. That was a big hit for the 23 of Vincent Cortez. We're going to ride on board here with Seth Berger. The run, he follows Lacy. The move happens. And he gets loose. Oh, no. Wow. What this does do is this has laid this race out almost perfectly now for Last Chance Racing guys. There's a lot of Swift. Pretty much all the horses Swift came to the track with got involved in that one. Here we are. I want to see if we can catch up with our other stage winner this evening, Justin Mcmahon. We're going to bring him on up. And Justin Mcmahon, you find yourself at the head of the Last Chance Racing train, and you end up winning the stage. How'd you do it?
A lot of help from my teammates there. Jonathan was pushing me like crazy. Just had to get a good run, and it seemed like the outside had a little bit more momentum than the inside line there, and I mean that seems to be what helped the most.
Now, obviously, you're here in your own right to race for the win, and all in all, the stage win won't do you much in the grand scheme of things. It's kind of just a nice confidence boost for you. Was there any talks with the team to try to maybe organize a little bit, maybe try to help some of the teammates who are a little bit lower in points, or we all just kind of trying to race up heads up there with the other guys?
I mean, once we got all lined up, all of us were just trying to get as far as we could up front, and do the best we could to get some stage points for those guys. I was just kind of more of the puller than the pusher, so I mean, I was just trying to help those guys out as best I could, and just by leading the pack. But no, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. We were just trying to help my team out as much as I can.
Well, there you go. It has been a pretty dominant day for Last Chance as a group. Couple stage victories now, and a lot of y'all here at the front of the field. So looking pretty bright for the group. Congratulations on your stage win, Justin. Best luck to you.
Yeah.
The rest of the race.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully we'll talk to you a little later on.
Yeah, thank you.
That is driver of the number 20, Justin McMahon. Winning stage 2 there. Leading the race, he's got his teammate Jonathan Jennings outside. Byers, Fitzpatrick, and Fox and Lacy make up row 3. Setzer and Schumacher make up row 4. Doug Solms, Kevin Powell, row 5. Jason Miz and Devin Smith, row 6. Max Service and Adam Gardner, 7. Andrew St. Cor gonna be there in 8th, or in 15th. Jacob Reeves. Myself trying to catch the field. Fortunately, guys, Seth Berger is still down in the pit lane, so Berger Nation is going to be reeling and hoping that the points get him through to the next round. As a matter of fact, though, Last Chance Racing, they're looking forward and they're looking at this restart. The field in the hands of the number 20 of Justin McMahon, and we're racing once again from Talladega. 56 laps to go. Halfway here at Talladega, and Last Chance Racing has dominated up to this point, and they now hold the front of this field in their hands. Seth Fitzpatrick, second car in line, but it's a dark horse car in Joshua Land Fox. It's got Adrian Schumacher behind as well, and here comes some Last Chance help on the outside. Jennings, a huge push from Kevin Powell, his brother. Pushing each other to the front of the field. Cortez, Miz, St. Cor on the outside as well, trying to make something happen. And now Cortez jumps up high. Miz stays with. St. Cor's going to try to go with as well. Heavy pushing. And Cortez now with the huge push from Miz. Looks to the outside of Powell. To the outside of Jennings. Vincent Cortez is going to go to the point here at Talladega. Cars sideways on the bottom side, but they stay straight. A little bit of a moment there. We are still here. And Cortez holds station at the front of the field. He drops down with Jason Miz, and Andrew St. Cor is left out to dry on the high side. And now the 24 and the 23 left on the bottom. Here comes Jennings. Got Powell, McMahon, and now Andrew St. Cor in tow. St. Cor just trying to stay up here and stay alive. So Jennings to the point now. And it's just the numbers game. They have more numbers in that Last Chance group. And cars getting out of line. Out of whack. Fitzpatrick hitting Miz the wrong way. Cortez jumping up, jumping to the outside of St. Cor. Lacy trying to work his way forward, and it's 3x3 behind. Nobody trying to work with one another, other than the Last Chance guys. Everyone else is looking as if it's every man for themselves. So now the top four are all lined up and they're getting going. Now everybody in the second pack is starting to figure it out. Now Max Service help out his stepdad. They're 10th and 11th. Oh, and St. Court jumps up. Now allows service to get on through. Fox and Schumacher and try to do something there. The lead pack, they're lined up on the outside lane. Fitzpatrick jumps out, and they're trying to single out Lacy and Cortez. Oh, trouble pushing on the bottom. Everybody scatters. So the brothers lead this field, and Jonathan Jennings and Kevin Powell, and Lacy jumps up high outside of Mcmahon. Now to the outside of Kevin Powell. Landon Lacy, an aggressive move, but a smart move. Trying to break up the group. But not broken up enough. Now they're having trouble pushing on the inside, though. They don't have the numbers up high, but they are more organized up high. And they're all scattered about. Landon Lacy's going to go to the point with Vincent Cortez, Devin Smith, Jason Miz in tow. It's only the brothers of Jennings and Powell on the inside lane trying to fight this one by themselves. Oh, Devin Smith. A huge move from the top lane to the bottom side. And now the top three of Lacy, Cortez, and Miz trying to make something happen on the outside. Now Miz drops down. They no longer have the numbers on the high side. Miz and Smith trying to go to the point. And now the top two drop down. And here, well, they have to worry about now Matthew Setzer jumping up high. I wonder if Smith's going to try to make a move to go get Setzer. Setzer drops back. Here comes Service. And the second group has resurged. Back to this lead pack. Max Service at the helm of the second group brings them back to this lead pack, and we're all formed up once again. 47 laps to go, this time by the stripe. It's Landon Lacy out in front, but it's the whole field that's still alive back here. Jennings now trying to draw even with Lacy. Powell in tow. And Service doesn't have the teammates he'd like to have in this scenario. Is probably gonna have to play your friends or where you find them. As the brothers now of Jennings and Powell head the outside lane. Lapped Carvera, Seth Berger on the high side. And Service is going to drop down. And there, he's got the help from, looks like that is Fox. And now Schumacher. They're going to grab Lacy as well as Cortez and Miz. And numbers seem to now start back in the 81 of Max Service. As you say that, Jennings gets a run, but they have to scatter around the lap the vehicle. The max service to the point of this field. Adrian Schumacher trying to make something happen on the high side. He's got Lacy in tow. And now it's Swift Racing cars controlling both lines. And now Cortez jumps out with Schumacher trying to get to the point. Fox and Miz trying to work on the inside. Behind service. Schumacher and Lacy trying to work on the outside behind Cortez. And not a whole lot of space for last chance to do their work. Cortez now to the point with Schumacher. And Lacy's getting split out. How aggressive will Lacy be trying to get back in this line? He'll find a spot in front of St. Coeur. Jennings drops down in front of service. And leaves his teammates. And now scattering 3 wide. The servers jump up. Miz jumps up a huge move, narrowly turning himself across the nose at a 23 of Cortez. And now a huge run. Miz works the high side. Max had the chance to jump up high. He stays behind Jennings. Oh, car going around Devin Smith. And I think he just plows the inside wall. Big moment for the 95, one of the playoff drivers in this race. Let's see what happened. The 95 of Devin Smith, 4th car on the inside lane. He catches up to Fox. He gets a little high up off the corner. He just gets loose and whammo, slams the left front off the inside wall. He was having a great run, but one of the drivers below the cut line coming into today's race is now in trouble and has to try to see what he can do. And now, accident at turn 4. Caution is going to come out. Several cars around. Matthew Byers, Justin McMahon, Joshua Land, Fox. And a Lacy potentially involved as well. And the caution has come out. Just as we were going back live, and that incident happens in turn 4. Turn 3. We'll catch it live here. Well, the replay. There's a check him on the outside. Oh my goodness, gets turned in front of McMahon and Byers and Lacy. A big hit for the 66, and now both dark horse entries that were up there at the front of the field, now both have received heavy damage in the span of 2 laps. And the checkup, McMahon did check up. Byers did not. Gets into the back of McMahon. Now they all accordion off each other. Gets into the rear to 66. McMahon does then. Spun up high. Lacy, Byers, and McMahon. All 4 of them get into some trouble here. Now we work, I believe, our 4th or 5th caution of the evening. I do want to say, starting the playoffs, coming into this race, there is a span of 720 straight consecutive laps without a caution in the Outlaws Sim Series. And that has changed today with the caution that happened earlier today. And Josh Fox, he just had no momentum. Unfortunately, got ran over by a line. Jeremiah Stutzman stays out. He gets himself a lap led. The race off pit road is Jennings over Cortez, Miz, Service, Setzer. Forgot about Setzer up there as part of the dark horse groupings. See if we can bring on up this driver of the number 23. We'll bring on up 23 of Vincent Cortez. And Vincent, it has been a wild day for you. You've made some crazy moves out there trying to get yourself to the point of this race. You were able to lead one lap today, but what's the racing been like out there?
Been nuts. I've been backwards, upside down, it felt like, and now I was leading, but now I'm P3. It's been crazy.
Now, I know there was points that you were trying to work with your teammates, and then it looks like plans kind of fell through. I know also there, Seth got into an incident there. What has it been like just trying to work with who's in front of you?
Been tough. I mean, you know me here at Super Speedways. I'm not the biggest fan of working with teammates. Not because I don't like to. It's just it's tough making the right decisions when you're thinking about not only yourself but also a few other cars. But yeah.
So it has been crazy. Last chance, they are the team. They have the numbers. But it looks like you kind of just you've been able to kind of garnish the scraps, and everybody else kind of just links up, and it's kind of been working here since this third stage started. What's the vibe been like? Do you think is the aggression is just going to continue to the end of the race? You think there's going to be a little bit of a lull where we kind of get singled out here, or what are you feeling?
Like that last run is pretty aggressive. I can only see it going up now as we have 39 to go. So it's just all about making the right lane choices and hopefully being there at the end.
There you go. Vincent Cortez, driver's going to be restarting outside. Row one of the outside lane. Wow. It's been a long.
Very great.
It's tough, man, by myself. But yeah. Best luck to you, driver. Hopefully we're talking to you a little later on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Vincent Cortez there again. He's led one lap. Restarts second for this upcoming restart. Working lap 72 of 110. Running order there on the side of your screen. And Jonathan Jennings, all of a sudden, is surrounded by a bunch of cars that are not his teammates. I'm sure he's not going to have any trouble trying to find his teammates, but yeah, this is an intriguing situation for Jennings. I mean, Jennings is fast enough. He's going to garnish help from others who aren't his teammates. You know, people are going to work with him because it is Jonathan Jennings, but maybe tough. Okay, I thought the lights were still on the pace car there for a second, but we are doubled up and getting ready to go. Watch count a little off. Let's take a look at some of the weather. The track temp has gone up. Now 94 degrees. So the track is getting slicker, which is not helping the higher grip, especially on corner exits. That might have been what caught out Devin Smith. The winds are still fairly calm. 5 miles an hour out of the northeast. Air temp has gone up half a degree. Now 70.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, again, the track temp 4 degrees. That has gone up quite a bit. 19 lead changes might also be undersigned. This has been an aggressive and chaotic race. Here we go again. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane, the field, in the hands of the 91 of Jonathan Jennings. And we're racing once again from Talladega. car going around on the outside, coming back into across the field. It's a 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick. Collects Jacob Reeves, and the caution's going to come out. And trouble for some of the Last Chance Racing drivers coming into the tri-oval. A little bit of a nudge there from the 5 of Setzer. Sends the 2 car sideways, comes across, collects St. Cour and Powell. Jacob Reeves in trouble as well. Andrew St. Cour got a big bit of damage there. Here's something to keep an eye on. Let's ride on board with the 12. See what he saw. Big front end hit there. Also want to see what Jacob Reeves saw from his point of view. Oh, and his team. Oh, he did. He missed it. Oh, that could have been that could have been very bad. Some teammate on teammate contact right there. Kevin Powell, who and Andrew St. Cour, I think that those are the ones that land the worst of this incident. The incident happens right there. You see the 2 coming down. Flipped there. That's 93 of Powell. Wow, locks up the brakes. Reeves is able to avoid. He is okay as well. This is just Andrew St. Cour in trouble here. We're looking to see what kind of damage does the 12 car have. We're gonna catch this one live, and front end, it does not look great, but he should be fine if he stays in this field. Let's see what happens. But another driver below the cut line in trouble. He is down and away, so he's got at least a significant portion of that damage repaired. I also saw something happened on the pit stop here for '91 of Jonathan Jennings. We'll see here. He came down one of the lead cars. Oh, and contact there with Cortez. Oh, man. And had a lot of struggle in there trying to get that car corrected. And Cortez also getting sent backwards. I think he might have been EOL'd here for not staying to the right. I believe that is what's happening here. He's dropping down to running order. The Max Service now leads the field in here, and we've got a moment. We're gonna step aside. We're gonna go side by side here. Pits Up TV side by side. We're not going anywhere. Stick around.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome back, race fans, to Talladega Super Speedway. Oh, there's a moment going on now. Cortez sent up high. We're gonna go green here. Green flag is back, and we're racing from Talladega. We haven't really had the chance to, but we're gonna go rank it up. We're gonna go Sounds of the Sim. These next-gen cars really do sound beautiful. And watching these drivers go to work with just the sounds from the sim itself, again, beautifully sounding race cars. These next-gen NASCAR vehicles. On the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform, the battle for the lead has been Max Service and Jonathan Jennings. Looks like Service continues to get it at the stripe. Jennings and company, maybe they edge out into the corners. Service and Schumacher working the outside, and it's Jennings and his brother Kevin Powell working the inside lane. A lot of damaged vehicles in this race. Doug Solms, the tail end of this lead pack. Matthew Setzer, Vincent Cortez, the second group of cars. Adam Gardner, Joshua Lane Fox, still out here. First car lapped is Seth Berger. He is here 5 laps down. Teammate Max Service leads the field. And again, to think about the points coming into today's race. Look at drivers below the cut line. Like Adam Gardner, who's had trouble. Matt Rogers, who was put out of the race. Interesting, Core, he's had some trouble, but he's still out here. And Devin Smith, he had big time contact with the inside wall. He has had trouble. The drivers above the cut line, they have kind of kept themselves alive and in it. You look at it, Fitzpatrick, well, he got in the most recent incident, but he's still up here. Jennings is up here. Berger, he got in some trouble, but he's still racing. He's picking up scraps when he can get them. Schumacher and Service, 4th and 5th coming into today in the points. They're 1 and 2 right now. Stutzman is in this lead pack. Scott Bailey. That's a driver who's had some trouble today. That he had a little bit of a cushion. And that's gonna maybe go away as a result of today's race. Jacob Reeves, his Sage win should be good. Well, not good, but he should be able to. He should have opened a margin over the cut line. So I think really the only one who could be making a move towards the cut line here is somebody like an Andrew St. Coeur. And oh, we got a car in the wall there. That was. Oh, we got a car going around. Adrian St. Coeur is going around. No. The 11 of Scott Bailey. Andrew St. Coeur cannot catch a break. And the caution is going to come out. It looks like the car is fine for what it's worth, but I can't believe the luck. That might. You know, I don't think I've ever graduated from the commentator shakes. Fitzpatrick just hit him, got him out of shape. Scott Bailey hit the wall. Doesn't look too much damage, and I don't know anymore. I mean, that car has been in some incidents today. See here. 11 following, gets into the wall there. And they're pushing the whole time. Never disconnected, but he started swaying down the back straightaway. I don't know if he moved his wheel or he got moved by the pushes. Unfortunate. I can't believe I was just talking about him making a move towards the cut line. And that happens. That is jinx right there, man. I don't know. Here we catch up. Andrew St. Cyr in the box. As expected, is getting service to his machine. And pit road looks pretty busy in that regard, all over the place. I mean, Andrew St. Cyr, Jacob Reeves, Joshua Lane Fox, Seth Fitzpatrick, Kevin Powell, Justin McMahon. Now Scott Bailey. They're still in the pit lane here. Well, Jason Miz is out here. He's having himself a great little run. See if we can bring on up driver of the number 24, Jason Miz. He's been a little lonely down there, so like, sure you'll like some company here, Jason. It is it's been a pretty entertaining race from my point of view. Looks like it's been a pretty crazy race from the driver's point of view, but what say you?
Oh, it's crazy. It's not a lot of give and a lot of taking.
Absolutely. I wasn't expecting you to come down pit road here.
Yeah, I messed up. I wasn't going to, but I wanted Adam to have a lap back because I felt bad about our incident. So, being a nice guy.
I see. That's commendable. So I know, you know, you've been on a part-time schedule this season. So you're just here for fun, racing, you know, on your own. Literally on your own. Your teammates aren't here, so you kind of just been working with who you've been able to work with. What's that been like? What's the dynamic working with everyone throughout the field and just kind of running your own ship?
I enjoy working with anybody that's willing to work with me, but with this damage, it seems like nobody wants to work with me. And once I get out front, I lose RPM, so I'm just here enjoying myself, trying to put a show on.
I do certainly appreciate it. It makes my job a little easier. I'm starting to look at it. There's not many cars that don't have damage, so you won't be alone.
That's why I wasn't too worried about the pitting part here. I knew we still got 20 to go and plenty of time.
Certainly. Well, Jason, it's been fun watching you. You've been a blast up here at the front of the field, and hoping keep that up. Hopefully we'll talk to you a little later on, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Driver of the number 24, Jason Miz. I thought he was going to lead us back to the green, but he came in down pit road there. Nice guy. Let Adam get a lap back there. Get back in this thing, but he got that lap back. Or maybe he did. Maybe he was able to power around that quickly. So, we go again. Another restart. The field in the hands of Max Service. Got Schumacher to his outside, and Myers, looks like Jennings, row 2. Setzer, Cortez, row 3. Doug Solms, Jeremiah Stutzman, row 4. Jacob Reeves, Joshua Land Fox, row 5. On the lead lap behind Andrew St. Cyr, Jason Miz. Still running laps down, Seth Berger, Adam Gardner, and a whole load of cars in trouble. You heard it from Jason. 20 laps to go. He's not worried. You shouldn't be either. The action's just going to continue to ramp up. Green flag is back in here, racing once again from Talladega, 20 to settle it. Max Service holding the point. Teammates Adrian Schumacher, Vincent Cortez behind. Jennings trying to muster up what he can with what's left of his squad. He's got Matthew Byers behind him and not too much more. Got Matthew Setzer in line, Doug Solms in line. He does have a teammate back there with Jacob Reeves in line, but the last chance numbers have dwindled, and Swift has become the numbers advantage in this front pack once again. This time by will be 18 laps to go in playoff racing action. From race 2 of round 2 in the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs, race 31 of 36, the 5th race of the 10 race mini season, and it has been action packed. Once again, maybe drivers, or people won't be happy with the amount of cautions we've had today. I say these drivers, they earned themselves a little bit of a fun race. A Stutzman jumps out of the line. Will anybody go with? He's got Fox to go with. I was saying these drivers, they earned a little bit of a wreck fest, a little bit of a crapshoot. They went 5 consecutive races without a caution in the Outlaws Sim Series. I mean, it was pretty crazy. Over 900 miles of racing without a caution, 735 consecutive laps by the time we had our first caution here today. Green flag racing. And, well, then the floodgates opened. It's been a minute since these guys have had their caution periods, and cautions breed cautions, especially when you've had a 5, 6, 7 week hiatus from them. And this is what we've got left. We had a 26 car field to start. It has been a pretty chaotic race, but there's still lots to play for. Playoff lives to settle. Drivers competing for their first win still alive and up here trying to get going here. It's now Swift to the top of the track on the top lane. They got 5 cars lined up. The top 4 all lined up. I'm adding Andrew St. Coeur in there just by virtue. He's been working with Swift all day. And while it's his stepson that's leading, Max Service holding station out in front of the field. Schumacher, Cortez, second, third. The inside lane not picking up much momentum. They've now got 3 cars down there, and Byers and Jennings. You heard Miz talk about the damage and people not necessarily wanting to work with him. Well, now he's got cars around him, and Setzer and Doug Solms. So we continue on. This time by will be 15 laps to settle it. Jacob Reeves holds station up high. Out there, laps down. Adam Gardner and Seth Berger trying to pick up the scraps they can. Gardner's got a few positions coming towards him. Got somebody who still is in the playoffs trying to make up what he can. Spots that are coming to him will be valuable. And now, some momentum to the inside lane. The 5 cars that have lined up on the inside lane, they are doing some work. And Fox and Stutzman look down there. They look to join. $14 laps to go from the big bad Talladega Super Speedway. The outside lane has the advantage, and Andrew St. Coeur has been shuffled out, has been left out to dry, and that has broken up the momentum of the high side. So the action behind is starting to lose those guys' momentum. Reeves and Fox, they need to get it worked out here. Reeves now lined up with Gardner and Stutzman, St. Cyr, and Fox, and they are lined up, and they're going to try to catch the guys in front, but that did not help out by any bit with them racing one another. Up here, Service still holds the outside lane with Schumacher, Cortez, Berger, now Setzer. Down low, it is Byers leading the charge for last chance with Jennings in tow. And then Jason Miz from Performance Sim Sport. And Doug Solms with Twisted Axle. Gonna make something happen. Now Setzer drops down with Solms. This time by will be 11 laps to go. You can see Service. He's given a little bit of air to Schumacher through the corner. Now drops down to side draft a little bit. Now they pull off. Because the side draft, you don't want to lean on that car's quarter the entire lap or the entire straightaway. You just want to lean a little bit, slow them down, then pull off so you don't start slowing yourself down. That time by the stripe was Byers leading the lap. 11 to go. And now some mixing up going on. Setzer wants Berger. And that's not going to help out the Swift gang. They're losing numbers. And now Solms is sideways up off the corner. And now Setzer drops back behind the 77 again. And now a huge drop off in speed to the inside lane. Now the top three are clear. They're trying to at least pull Seth up with them. And if Setzer comes, he goes. But this time by will be 10 laps to settle it. Now Solms jumps up. And now Stutzman and St. Cyr. This is the second pack. They're trying to close the gap. They're 2.5 seconds back, but they are not closing any time on what's going on up here. And now Jennings and Byers, they have found themselves now lining up at the back of this pack. With not a whole lot of momentum on their side, not a whole lot of numbers on their side. And they're actually even losing a little bit of pace, a little bit of touch to this group. Maybe the plan, maybe go grab that second pack of cars, see if you can pull them forward so you have numbers on your side. 9 laps to go. And everyone's all lined up on the outside lane. It's Max Service leads over Schumacher, second. Cortez, third. Setzer now in fourth. Jason Miz, fifth. Solms in sixth. Jennings in seventh. Byers has lost touch with the pack. Miz jumps out. Anybody goes with? Does not. Miz is dropping back. And more shuffling back here. Stutzman has a blink moment. Some car is sideways and around back there. Adam Gardner's in trouble. These guys are still trying to figure out where to line up and how. They're running nearly 20 miles an hour off the pace to these guys. So Max Service, who's been on a little bit of a lull since his Charlotte win, hasn't been the dominant car we saw earlier this season. Looks like the competition has initially caught on. Is this the race that Max Service uses to win, to bounce back some momentum in his favor, to be the first driver to hit 5 wins on the season? We'll have to see. Also with the chance to hit 5 wins on the season is the 91 of Jonathan Jennings and the 82 of Adrian Schumacher. They have a chance to set the record straight. Also, while most of them are more or less secure into the next round of playoffs, a win here would lock it in no matter what happens next week. Adrian Schumacher trying to win on an oval for the first time since race 9 of season 1. Adrian Schumacher, yes, he is a road course ace. He's only one oval win to his name, though, in his many Outlaws Sim Series road course victories. He has only one at Daytona. And while maybe Talladega doesn't add the same bearing to many drivers, it would for Schumacher, who always has pace on the ovals, but never can get the job done. What would it mean for Schumacher to get his 5th on the season and explore to a different track type? Vincent Cortez in his first Outlaws Sim Series season, he's a rookie with a lot of confidence, maybe even a little bit of cockiness. Wants to put his name out there. A win would do him wonders. Matthew Setzer has never won in the Outlaws Sim Series. He's now in his 3rd season with the series, and he's won the All-Star race, but is trying to see if he can put his name to a points-paying race in the Outlaws Sim Series. Jonathan Jennings, we've seen, as even though he did not win the regular season championship, he's been the #1 seed entering the rounds of the playoffs. Has had a huge burst of momentum with his Last Chance Racing teammates, and not a whole lot has come of it. 4 wins on the season. He's searching for his 5th and add a little bit of momentum to his potential championship hunt. Jason Miz is a one-time winner in the Outlaws Sim Series. He has 1 win to his name, the season opener of the Truck Series season at Daytona last season. I'm sure he'd like to at least double that with a 2nd. And Doug Solms, he has come close before. He has led on the last lap. He has had huge bursts of momentum to try to win Dega races before, win races in the Outlaws Sim Series. He's had good runs, but he's never been able to seal the deal. He finds himself in this lead pack as well, and the action is ramping up now with 4 laps to go. This time by the stripe will be 3. Consistent pushing from Adrian Schumacher applied to the rear end of the 81 Max service. Cortez and Berger staying loyal to that high side. A huge burst of momentum. Good setups on the inside for sure in the 91 and the 24. And I'm sure another car adds to the momentum with Doug Solms tagging along as well. 3 laps to go from Talladega. Momentum holds station up high. The second pack awaits if any mistake happens up here. And Miz, now a huge push to Jonathan Jennings. It's gonna edge him out in front. Will he be able to hold it? Setzer now drops down low. A little off center there, off of 4 between Miz and Jennings. The push not able to stay consistent. Out of 4 through the trial vault. 2 laps to go. It's service still at the line. Three playoff drivers are up here, and around goes Jennings. He saves it. No! Sideways on the apron, trying to save it. And he does save it. But that takes the air out of the sails up here. And these guys are gonna race for it. One lap to go this time by. If they can hit the start-finish line, this race is official. Through the tri-oval. 1 more lap to go here from Talladega. The white flag presented by Whiplash Media Simcams. The bell lap, and the lap that will settle it all. Will it be Service or Schumacher getting their 5th wins on the season? Will it be Cortez or Setzer getting their first wins in their careers? Down the back straightaway. Setzer with a push from Miz. Solm stays up high, loyal to the outside lane. Schumacher glued to the 81. The pushing continues through the tri-oval. Schumacher up high to the outside. Through the tri-oval, Schumacher with the advantage. Cortez, he's gonna push, he's gonna get sideways and wreck across the line. I don't know who won. Jason Miz. I think Jason Miz won. Oh my goodness. Vincent Cortez had a huge run. He wanted to go somewhere with it. And he went into the wall with it. Here's the move. Out of turn 4. And, wow, that's a great camera of it. Here we go. 4 wide. They wreck. And, wow, I thought Setzer maybe would have gotten it there. That one was close. One more time. Cortez went to the middle there. And bam. Unbelievable. But a well-deserved victory for Jason Miz. He fought his stuff all day to do this. And well-deserved victory donuts for the 24. And we'll be looking back at this last lap for the ages. Barrett coming across the line. I didn't know what to call because I didn't know who to call to the line, but it's Jason Miz with his 2nd career Outlaws Sim Series victory. And he's parked up. And we're going to bring him on up. Let's talk to the man of the hour in a wild last lap turn of events, Jason. Did you think coming down the back straightaway you'd be the one to end out with the checkered flag?
Heck no. I was like, well, I'm getting what, like 8th, 9th. I'm fine with it. 7th, whatever it was. I was fine. And then I seen him wrecking, and I'm like, well, I'm going low. Woo.
Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna lie, when they started wrecking, I didn't know who was gonna come to the line. At first I thought maybe the 5, and you actually edged out in the photo finish. It's 5/100ths of a second over Setzer, but a wild race. We talked a little bit earlier about you really didn't have any of your performance sim sport teammates or friends turn up today. It was just kind of it was you on your own, and you know, it looks like you were working well. You kind of were playing both games, both factions with the Swift Racing group and then the Last Chance Racing guys, and it worked out for you.
Yes, sir. Ooh. I mean, I wanted to work with Tank. I know you guys. Well, those guys are fast. Or I'm sorry, I'm not sure what their name is in this one.
It's Swift.
Swift.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't call them that. I know why it's like that.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but no, I knew that you guys would always be fast, so I was like, I was fine working with him, and then I knew we had to make a move earlier than we did, and we just didn't have the numbers, so I gotta thank, no doubt, front line for this amazing Talladega setup. Don Wheaton, GM, gotta appreciate them. Bruzy, can't do it without their support. definitely Adam for running a great league. You guys up in the booth every week, phenomenal job.
All right. We appreciate it, and appreciate you for putting on a great show tonight. And you ended up with a well-deserved victory. Jason Miz, your second career Outlaws Sim Series victory, coming here
Third.
at the Big Bad. Is it third?
Yes, sir.
Oh gosh, I miscounted somewhere. So
It's so rare. Yeah. It's so rare for me to get a win. I actually only know that because I looked at it before the race started. I was going through the Discord.
I'll have to look at it. But yeah, congratulations on another win, Ben, here in the Outlaws Sim Series. Well deserved, and you kept yourself alive in the car. Well, as clean as everyone else's for the most part today.
Yes,
And
sir.
you got it done. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Driver of the number 24, Jason Miz, and a wild finish to put his car at the top of the scoring pylon. What a job. What a race from this field. It was entertaining all day. I was a little skeptical on this race being 110 laps. I am not going to lie. And it was entertaining all throughout. We have to see how everyone else came to the checkers this evening. And, of course, we'll go with Jason Miz with the race win. He led 2 laps today. 1 lap earlier and the last lap. And Matthew Setzer wrecks across the line second. I thought maybe he would have edged out with the win. Max Service comes home in third. Doug Solms 4th. Adrian Schumacher 5th. And the rest of them, I don't know. I guess Cortez wasn't able to make it back to the start-finish line. I thought he would have been up here, but it's Andrew St. Coeur with, I think, a much-needed 6th place finish. Matthew Byers 7th. Jeremiah Stutzman 8th. Jacob Reeves 9th. Jonathan Jennings was not able to attach onto that second pack. He'll be 10th. And then we look at the next page of results. 11th is Joshua Land Fox. And Vincent Cortez, I guess, did not make it back to the start finish line, so he'll be credited with 12th. Seth Berger is 13th, 4 laps down. Adam Gardner 14th, 19 laps down. And a huge point to look at here is that he stayed out there and he gathered the scraps, and that may play a huge factor heading into next week's race. Seth Fitzpatrick, who already locked himself in, this was just pretty much for fun and go all out, maybe give himself another win, some more playoff points and all that jazz. Comes home 15th, though, 24 laps down. Justin McMahon also 24 laps down and 16th, along with Kevin Powell there in 17th, 93, car 93, 24 laps down as well. 36 laps down, we'll find the 11 of Scott Bailey there in 18th. 42 laps down, Landon Lacy in 19th. And 43 laps down, Devin Smith had a hard impact to the inside wall. He'll find himself 20th. 21st, it'll be the 16 of Eric Peck, 67 laps down. Randall Barnett, 22nd there, 83 laps down. Along with Brad Bothwell, the 23rd, 83 laps down as well. Matt Rogers, 24th, 89 laps down. Sam Borden, 25th, 89 laps down as well. Kyle Lingerfeld, a little bit of an odd disconnect for him. He'll be 26th, 91 laps down. So that is the results for tonight. So we're not done, though. More post-race coverage is to come on the far side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. More interviews and more post-race coming up from the Big Bad Talladega Super Speedway on the far side of this break. Stick with us.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway. We're now in the post-race coverage of this evening's playoff race. The results, the action has all been done and dusted, and everything's going to be tallied and everything's settled. And somehow, some way, I'm sure this driver would like to get it back. Somehow, so close between all of them. Melee there on the last lap. Matthew Setzer, so close to a points-paying Outlaws Sim Series race win here. What's going through your mind that last lap?
Just sit there and ride, and then see what happens. And then my whole plan was to take a run off of 4 and dive it and try to take the win. But came close, but I don't know what all was going on up front. I know they were battling it, and then I was like, ooh, it got the run, and then I was like, come on. And then the car didn't. Whatever the wreck happened with Max or whatever, all I remember is I got tagged, and I wish I didn't get tagged because I think I would have been the winner.
Yeah, it was kind of a speechless moment for me that y'all wrecked coming to the line. I didn't know who to call, but it was crazy at that. A very entertaining race from my point of view, but looked like a very crazy race from the driver's seat. What say you throughout the course of the 110?
It was a crazy race from my seat. I royally hate these NextGen cars. I think they suck, but it seemed like, yes, my car had the better runs. I know different setups when I was playing during practice. Certain cars had better suck up, other ones didn't have the suck up. Probably would have been better out front. I know my car was better of a pusher than being out front, because it didn't have the speed. But it just, I don't know.
Well, you came so close to an Outlaws Sim Series win here today at Talladega. What's kind of your game plan going forward with the rest of these races in this season? How do you plan to take them? Is there anything going forward that catches your eye?
Just show up, see what happens, and see what races I can make, because that's what I've been doing. These cars have not been they've not been in my wheelhouse of what I like, and I'm just trying to push on through it. It's just I'm trying to be a trooper. I'm not trying to be a downer about the car, but they're not my favorites. I'll be honest.
That's all right. We'll see how throughout the rest of these races, if anything else can come up for you. Best luck to you in the coming weeks. Congratulations on your singles finish tonight, Matt.
Yep.
It was a good run.
You. I'm happy about it. Normally I'm the one that's the first cause of the caution in this league, and finally I'm up here in second now at a plate race.
There you go. Yeah, it was a great race for you. It was great to see you up here towards the front and duking it out with all these guys here at the end. And great to see you make it to this point as well.
Yep.
But yeah,
finally getting an interview with you too.
Yeah, how about that? But
I hardly ever get interviews.
Race,
yep, I just did what I had to do.
Yeah, and it worked out. Congratulations on the second place finish. Best luck to you. We still got Atlanta coming up and a few more crazy races with some short track coming up. Who knows what might happen? We may see you up here again.
Yeah, probably I'll be up there at short tracks, because short tracks are normally my thing.
Right. There you go. Well, we'll see you, and hopefully we're talking to you then.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Driver of the number 5, Matthew Setzer. And want to bring on up third place finisher, driver of the number 81, Max Service. Max, it looked like he had a handle on the race, and I'd imagine you'd expect Adrian to make the move to the outside there, because you both are competing to try to lock yourselves into the next round. What all went on behind you? If you have any idea?
I knew Adrian was going to pull out for about 40 laps. I know he mentioned on the final restart that we had there with like 25 to go that he needed to lead a lap at some point. And I'm like, I don't really know how I could do this. But I was thinking in my head, I'm like, how about he leads the last one and he wins? Because if he pulls out, the whole line's going to go with him. And I'm going to be hung by myself, which is fine. I don't mind that. As long as one of us two won the race. Well, that didn't happen. You know, Vinny, the guy earlier in the week who said, I don't like super speedway racing with teammates, decided he would wreck the entire team there. Unfortunate, but it happens. You know, we're going for the win. I knew down the backstretch I wasn't winning that race. In the 3, Adrian stayed on my bumper like he hadn't been. My time playing Dale Jr. up front was over at that point, and I knew it. I tried to block him a little bit, but I didn't try too hard. I didn't want to wreck us both. But we wrecked anyways. If I had pulled down a little bit more coming to the start-finish line, I would have gotten away from either the air or the net code that turned my car around, and I probably won the race. But, you know, it is what it is now. I'll take a third-place day after, especially after last week. We were awful last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say last week did not bode well for you. Looked like a pretty tough track at kart combination and setup and everything. But I'm sure this race turned out the way it did, leading 46 laps, and of course still finishing up on the podium, being with a chaotic finish you couldn't control. Must put yourself in a much better mood heading into next week's race to see your way into the next round of the playoffs, Darlington.
Yeah, it's a nice little run of momentum. I've been saying this whole round, just give me Darlington. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself going to Darlington, but I want to win at Darlington. I had some tracks circled this season that I wanted to win at. Darlington's the last on that list, so we're going to go there and we're going to go try to win the race.
I like it. So I guess we'll see you then. Congratulations on your third place finish tonight. I know a huge contrast to last week's race, and should boast you pretty well in the points. You might even be locked when all the math is settled. We'll have to see then. But nonetheless, congratulations. Best of luck to you next week at Darlington and the rest of the race, rest of your way through the playoffs to get there.
Yes, sir.
Driver of the number 81, Max Service, and another driver who was definitely going to make a move there at the end, Adrian Schumacher. I knew you were setting yourself up to make a great move there. But what ended up happening there on the last lap, man?
You know, stuff happened.
Fair enough. I knew you were putting yourself in a great position, and fifth is nothing to scoff at for somebody who had a little bit of cushion coming into today's race. That should still build up some cushion over the cut line for you. I know you want that win to lock yourself in with Darlington coming up, but what about the energy in this race this evening? It looked like all throughout the 110 that there was just pretty much energy all throughout the pack to get to the lead and try to keep yourself up there.
Yeah, I mean, there seemed like every lap everyone was pushing to get up front and find a way to stabilize the pack, which luckily it was me and Max that figured it out. But it was hectic out there, and yeah, this super speedway racing.
Right, I'd imagine you'd still be pretty happy with fifth place finish at a track that ends up being very hard to control. But now heading into Darlington, we'll see how the points work out. You may very well be locked in or very close to locking in even heading into Darlington. But how do you take it? How are you feeling about it? I know that's a track that's very technical and maybe right up your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I would say see where I end up, go for podiums, but I think there has to be a different mindset going into the rest of the playoffs for me. Probably a lot less give, a lot more take.
I like that. I think that's a very valid point. I guess we'll have to see what happens then going forward. Congratulations on the top 5 finish tonight, Adrian. I know you were looking for more. But again, at Talladega, nothing to scoff at. And best luck to you next week at Darlington, man.
Yep, thanks. Gonna see a new Schumacher.
I like it. Driver of the number 82, Adrian Schumacher, said there's going to be a new Schumacher behind the wheel in this 82 machine. We'll see what happens going forward. But yeah, wild race this evening. Can't believe the way it played out. Very entertaining all throughout the 110. Can't say there was a dull moment in this race for me. You know, even when there was a little bit of single file, which they weren't single file for very long, but when they were, even then the tension was still built up, and we still had a lot of racing, a lot to play for, and the playoffs, of course, looming large. Take a look at the schedule going forward here in the Outlaws Sim Series. Of course, we've gone through 31 now. We look next week at race 32 at Darlington. Then we set up for round 3. Next Wednesday, by the way, is Elimination Wednesday at Darlington. You won't want to miss that. That's going to be a wild one. But then round 3, you have Homestead Miami Speedway, which is currently what track the officials are at tonight, this week. And then the brand new reconfigured Atlanta Motor Speedway, which nobody really knows how it's going to play out. North Wilkesboro, which is going to be quite the challenge with these next-gen vehicles. And Richmond as a chaotic short track season finale. I can't wait. Now, as far as tonight, that's going to do it for tonight. But we got so much more coming up here on the channel here at Pit.TV. And we can look at it going forward, of course. Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, we have the Sim Pit going to Silverstone. You won't want to miss all the action the GTE cars provide as they head over across the pond to Silverstone. It's going to be a fantastic race. I absolutely expect the Sim Pit series to continue to provide some amazing racing. 1:30 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss it. And we have SK Modifieds Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you think you have what it takes to make top split with the SK mods, they're at Lanier. Go ahead and sign up and see what you can do. You might just end up on the broadcast. The next Wednesday night, it's Elimination Wednesday from Palladium Black, the track that's dubbed as Too Tough to Tame. Darlington Raceway is going to be the site of Elimination Wednesday here, and we narrow the playoff field from 12 to 8, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And you won't want to miss it right here, Pit Stop TV. Great stuff as always here from the workers here at Pit Stop TV. I know Andrew puts in a lot of work to make these broadcasts go around, so a huge shout out to him each and every week. And if you want to keep up, or if you want to just support us across all of our social media platforms, there they are on your screen. Our Facebook page there, facebook.com/PitStopTV. Our Instagram, of course, at Pit_Stop_TV. Our Twitter at PitStopTV_. We're live on Twitch tonight as well as twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV. And our YouTube channel, of course, at youtube.com/C/PitStopTV1. And I think that'll do it tonight from the Talladega Super Speedway. We're happy to have had you to join us here for the Outlaws Sim Series action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's coverage. For all at Pit Stop TV, I am Emerson. I want a huge shout out to everybody behind the scenes. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.